Learn English through stories. The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Once upon a time, in a peaceful village nestled amidst rolling hills, there lived a mischievous young boy named Peter. Peter was tasked with a simple but important job, watching over the village's flock of sheep as they grazed in the meadows. At first, Peter took his duty seriously, spending his days under the warm sun, watching the sheep as they roamed the fields. But as time passed, Peter grew bored of the quiet routine. He longed for excitement and adventure to break the monotony of his days. One sunny afternoon, as Peter sat on a grassy hill overlooking the flock, an idea popped into his head. With a mischievous twinkle in his eye, he decided to play a trick on the villagers. "Wolf! Wolf!" Peter cried out, his voice echoing across the meadow. The villagers, hearing his cries, rushed to his aid, fearing that a ferocious wolf was attacking the sheep. But when they arrived, they found Peter laughing mischievously, admitting that it was all just a joke. The villagers, though relieved that there was no real danger, were not amused by Peter's prank. They scolded him for crying wolf and wasting their time. Peter, however, found the whole thing hilarious and couldn't wait to try it again. The next day, Peter decided to play the same trick once more. He climbed to the top of the hill and shouted, "Wolf! Wolf!" as loudly as he could. Once again, the villagers came running to his aid, only to find Peter doubled over with laughter, admitting that there was no wolf. This time, the villagers were not so forgiving. They warned Peter that if he continued to cry wolf falsely, they would no longer come to his aid when a real wolf appeared. Then, one fateful day, as Peter lounged on the hillside, watching the sheep lazily graze, a shadow fell over the meadow. Peter looked up and felt his blood run cold. A real wolf stood at the edge of the field, its eyes fixed on the flock of sheep. Terrified, Peter tried to cry out for help, but no sound escaped his lips. He had played his trick once too often, and now, when he needed the villagers' help the most, they did not believe him. With a sinking heart, Peter watched helplessly as the wolf pounced on the unsuspecting sheep, his cries for help going unanswered. The villagers, weary of his false alarms, stayed in the safety of their homes, unwilling to be fooled again. When the wolf had finished its feast and disappeared into the forest, Peter was left alone in the meadow, surrounded by the devastation he had caused. He realized then the consequences of his actions, and he wept bitter tears of regret. From that day on, Peter learned the importance of honesty and the dangers of deception. He vowed never to cry wolf falsely again and spent the rest of his days earning back the trust of the villagers, one honest deed at a time. And though the memory of that day lingered in the minds of the villagers for years to come, they eventually forgave Peter, knowing that he had learned his lesson well. Moral: honesty is always the best policy.